It's never good enough. You're always wanting more. You always want to do more. Hunger is something that we need to drive us to success and greatness. That's what we're going to talk about on this week's MSP video.
Hunger, having an insatiable appetite for success. It's never enough, always wanting more. What does that mean? You look at guys like Tom Brady. He didn't just win one Super Bowl. He didn't just make it to the NFL. He wants to be the best of all time. He didn't just stop at 5. He wants to continue going. What builds that hunger?
That drive and that hunger, I believe, is deep rooted into who we are. Since the day that we're born, we're being programmed to be a certain person, a certain character. So how to build hunger can be really, really, really difficult. And we're going to talk about that at the end. We're going to talk about that challenge of how difficult it is. And that's what we want to challenge you guys this week, is to build that hunger. I talk to my buddy Brad Haynes all the time that helps us with leadership training. And we always talk about we want people that are humble, hungry, and smart, right? If we can capture those 3 character traits, we're going to be in a really good position because we're going to have a well-rounded person. They're going to have the intelligence to do it. They're going to have the humility to be able to show up and figure things out and not have all the answers. And they're going to be hungry to show up and keep going. That hunger that we're talking about, of the idea that I think about, is that it's never enough. It's never good enough, because the path to perfection is not a destination. It's a journey. I always had a quote that I used to say, I'm always going to try to become perfect, but knowing that I'm never going to get there, right? I'm going to strive for perfection, but I'm not going to get there. I know I won't, but I'm on its heels. I'm on its heels, always looking to be better. How do I refine my blade work? How do I refine my pistol skills? How do I refine my striking? I'm going to be on the heels of perfection always, but perfection is something that's constantly running away, because in our hunger, knowing that the path of success, the path of becoming better, the path of progression and improvement, and all those characteristics that are ultimately all defined by increasing that characteristic, is that willingness to know that I've got to keep going to the next step. My son right now is trying to get better at pull-ups. And I said, you know what, buddy? I was like, you're doing good at pull-ups, but you're also growing. Your body is growing. You're increasing your weight every day by every bite of food that you take. So guess what? If you stop growing, if you stop doing pull-ups for 2 weeks and your body grows, you're going to be way behind the power curve. Don't let yourself get behind the power curve. So in fact, the fact that you're weighing more and growing every day, you got to stay ahead of how many pull-ups you should be doing every single day, every single week. And that's the idea that we all need to think about the increase. We're increasing in intelligence, we're increasing in wisdom, we're increasing in physical capabilities every single day. So we have to have the hunger to keep pushing forward in all those elements, knowing that if we stop, we're going to be behind the power curve. We have to be on the heels of perfection with that hunger, knowing that that's what it takes to really be successful.
Well, hunger is that unobtainable pursuit of perfection that you're chasing. It's the part of the asset creed that says, every day, I will not be complacent or make excuses. So just because we came in here and we crushed a workout today, it's not like, all right, sounds good. Like, I'm done.
Good for 3 weeks now.
Yeah, it's an unobtainable pursuit of perfection. You're always constantly chasing that best version of yourself that you're never gonna catch. And that's what hunger is. You're just continually forging the best version of yourself, moving forward, and you're always hungry. No matter how much you eat, no matter how much better you get, you want to get that much better.
Yeah. There's a lot of simulations to this, or similarities, I should say, with drive. We talked about that, how drive is very similar to that hunger. And I always use the example of, like, I'd rather have somebody that's too aggressive. They're so hungry that you're like, whoa, you're so hungry, it's actually blinding you in the wrong way, right? And you can think of that in any context. You can think about food, right? I'm super hungry, but I'm not paying attention to what I'm eating. I'm just eating, right? You have a guy that's going to kick down doors, but he's kicking down the wrong doors. I got to get him to be intelligent About, look, there's 3 doors, one's the right one. One's got the hostage behind it. That's the only one that matters right now. Let's go. Right now, he's aggressive. The only thing he's thinking about is getting through the door. It's the only thing that's on his mind. But it's the right door. It's directed. It's crushing everything that matters most, not just crushing everything that doesn't matter, right? We have to apply that attitude with precision and then speed. It all goes together, but I'd rather have that guy that's too hungry, and I don't even know if that's really a thing, but it's kind of taking the hunger and directing it intelligently, directing it with precision. Then you have a well-rounded package. So understanding that at the end of the day, how do you teach this? How do you teach somebody to be hungry? I think it's really tough, because if somebody's programmed a certain way since birth to be like, you know what, I'm just going to kind of hang out and just let things happen around me, let the world evolve around me, and I'm not going to go get it, I'm not going to seek it, I'm not going to kick the door down, then it is challenging. And I'm just going to be upfront about that. It's challenging to build that and light that fire into somebody. But I really think that you've got to get to the essence of what matters most to that person. You've got to get to the essence of what's in their heart to be able to be like, why? Just like last week's MSP, right? What's the why? And if I can't get the drive down, it's kind of like, what's the why? What's the purpose? What's the reasoning? What's the engine driving the machine? And then sometimes you got to pull open the hood and say, all right, what's going on in here? You got to change the oil. We got to turn some wrenches to be able to get what's the why primed, the purpose to get the hunger down, to be able to drive them no matter what, to be able to achieve their ultimate goals, and always looking back at the flag there, to be the best version of themselves and to become an asset.
Well, it's also so important who you surround yourself with. I mean, I'm so grateful that I have friends like Dom, and I got to grow up with parents who came from nothing and they had this work ethic. And I learned from my older brother who constantly pushed me working out. So I kind of had that built into me. But I also have people who I'm helping build that hunger, build that drive. So who you surround yourself with is so important. If you're surrounding yourself with people who just want to sit around all the time, play video games, drink alcohol, they're probably not going to be that hungry. Maybe they're hungry for playing video games and drinking alcohol, but that's not the right things. That's not going to help you forge the best version of yourself. So making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people, like I'm surrounding myself with Dom. He comes in here and you see that hunger, you feel that hunger. You crush a workout with Dom, you feel it. So surround yourself with people who will help you be hungry and help you forge that best version of yourself constantly.
So that's my challenge to you guys this week. Build your hunger and grow that desire to chase perfection, be on the heels of perfection, but be humble enough to know that you'll never get there. But it's important to know that that hunger is what's going to get us to tomorrow. When we're down and out, when we don't feel like it, we've got to find and tap into that to be like, that's it. No, I got to go. I got to move. I got to get this done, because it matters. Every second matters. Every day matters. Every moment matters. How we do anything is how we do everything. So we've got to be able to drive ourselves to that next step. What lights that fire up in you to be so hungry to be able to go out and get it and give it your all? What is it? One of the ways I think you can trigger that response to be able to be hungry is to tap back into when you're the best version of yourself. Tap into that moment you felt totally on, where every fiber of your being was engaged. The hair was standing up on the back of your neck. You were crouched down in the fight position. It might have been in a sport. It might have been in a specific moment. It might have been shooting. It might have been on an operation. It might have been in the ER. It might have been as a teacher, where you felt it. Like, I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it. Like, I nailed it. I nailed it with all the precision that I needed to get it to be perfect. We're going to have perfect moments in our lives, but life isn't perfect, and we know that. But remember the perfect moment that brings all those things into play in your whole human being, in your whole human self, and then trigger yourself when you're not hungry to be like, how do I get back to there? How do I get back when I was lock and step with Eddie, with Lewis, with my team, when I was getting ready to go into the door at the silence of the night with night vision on, lasers ready to go, and getting ready for that squeeze to be able to pull the door open and step in right when I needed to with good footwork and walk down the wall and start taking shots and taking shots back. How do I get back to that precision? That's what I want you to trigger yourself on. Find that moment of who you were to be able to the best version of yourself, to build that hunger in you to get after what you're chasing.
Stay hungry.
ARMR up.